Welcome back to Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational, live from Horgan Arena here in beautiful Auburn, Massachusetts, just outside of Worcester. I am Beautiful Banshee.
And I am Apex Predator.
And we are here to bring you Game 11, Toronto Men's Roller Derby's Outrage versus Maelstrom. And we are in for a treat, folks. Both teams have had great showings here at Battle of Bunker Hill and previously at Mohawk Valley Cup 2 weeks ago. Wearing blue with white accents, that will be Maelstrom up against Toronto, who's in white with blue accents, just to make sure we're paying attention and staying on our toes. So Apex, want to introduce Toronto?
Oh, I sure do. We have number 100, Pink Slaminade, 11, Billy the Kid, 1234, Street Fight Manifesto, 137, D-Ray, 151, Biff Malibu, 1528, Just Tara, 17, Kitty, 210, Boxcar, 222, Spencer Sleep, 5139, Armand Hammer, and 888, Senior Wiener.
Okay. And Maelstrom, they, again, in blue with white accents. We've got 0260, I'll see you later, 10, Dirty Frank, 17, Rosencrom, 21, Tupac Shocker, 21, 13, Rancor, 22, Andy, 26, Kenny Cloud Kicker, 32, Pickering, 40, Mycopathic Chiller, 504, My Baby Daddy, 60, Pearl Jammer, 7, Hasselman, 77, Captain Blivet, 808, The Reckoning, and 8475, Count Recula. We are ready to begin. Senior Wiener versus My Baby Daddy off the Jammer line to get the party started.
Or as it was accidentally called earlier, Mean Baby Daddy.
Mean Baby Daddy?
It was a Markism.
Oh, okay. So we'll see, although My Baby Daddy does have some sweet dance moves. We saw that earlier in the Twin State game during the official review. But a lead secured by My Baby Daddy early on and, officially, I guess, confirmed as having those sweet dance moves.
He has great moves.
But yes, the pack right now in turn 2, extending back to turn 1 just briefly, but Senior Wiener has a penalty. It appears to have been a cutting the track penalty, so My Baby Daddy
Power jam.
Yep. So right now, pack in the back stretch, about halfway through, and really just an amalgamation of blockers, seeing a flurry of blue and white.
That is 4 for My Baby Daddy.
That's totally 8 so far.
Looks like we have Filthy Franklin heading to the box for Maelstrom.
Yes, Filthy Franklin, the alias of Dirty Frank. And I did not know this, but Dirty Frank is a reference to a Pearl Jam song.
Yes, it is.
He told me that earlier.
Yeah, I made fun of him for it.
Dazzling conversationalist, that Filthy Franklin. But even more dazzling, Senior Wiener back to the track, though bumped out by Rosencrom, drawn back into turn 4, and leveling Mycopathic Chiller. Senior Wiener able to go up the inside line, juking to the middle of the pack, making it out
of his initial finally, getting in there.
So right now, back of the pack, Toronto keeping it static. Maelstrom was anxiously awaiting Jammer, though 3 points for Maelstrom and 0 yielded for Toronto, so 11-0 right now.
And it looks like lining up
Look
now we have...
It's the hit out on the instant
that's
replay.
So fancy.
So we got spoiled with the New England Roller Derby Report, Apex. This is the maiden voyage, if you will, on broadcast for my dearest Apex here.
It is.
But we are going to have a blast, and thanks for everyone.
That was so fancy.
Really. Chad brings a high-quality broadcast to viewers for the low price of free $99.
Oh, for sure.
But most important, who we have jamming right now?
We have D-Ray for Toronto and Andy, who just picked up lead for Maelstrom.
And the pack spreading out a bit as some acceleration occurs.
D-Ray not too far behind Andy now.
And the pack coming back together right at the top of the backstretch. Andy calls it off. Let's see if she picks up any.
3.
Yes.
To D-Ray's 0.
Thank you, Liz. That's so sweet. So Liz cheering you on the broadcast feed. So we have our little Twitch TV chat in here.
Oh,
And,
that's fun.
Yes, and there's a shout out for Rancor. He's not on the track right now from what I can see, but Rancor with Maelstrom, 2113. He is a brand new proud papa.
Super brand new.
And Cordy Pie, brand new proud mama. So shout out to him. She says, kick some ass, love your wife and 10-day-old son. And that baby is adorably squishy. I've seen the photos. So great to have you tuning in, Cordy. And Cordy has been a huge part of making Battle of Bunker Hill happen. She does a lot of hard work, and she created a human. She brought a human into the world in the process. So
I know, that's
great
ridiculous.
job. Seriously, daps there.
We
Cordy.
do have Cloud Kicker here. He got 4 points. He has lead jam. Biff 151 from Toronto is still on his initial pass in the pack.
That's right, and right now Pickering going to clear a bit, but realizing that Cloud Kicker coming around safe side, able to make it work, putting up a total of 8 points so far.
There is
Maelstrom
a
at 22.
star pass for Toronto to Spencer Sleep.
And with a fancy feet there on the turn for Apex, unfortunately
he
cutting
grabbed
the
a cut.
track. Yep. So right now, we're seeing Cloud Kicker call off was forced, and that was by Biff Malibu, who had handed off the star as mentioned, but you know, doing his best to make sure he's blocking every bit.
And that call off means that Maelstrom gets to start on the power jam.
That's right. So we're seeing
Mean baby daddy out here.
MBD, we'll leave it at that. And he really is a baby daddy, though not either of ours. His coach, Philin of Troy, is his baby mama.
Right,
so
right.
HBM, but doesn't roll off the tongue as well as MBD. But right now, my baby daddy in the middle of the pack, getting caught up a bit. But the run back coming from Boxcar, goading Rosencrom. And then, of course, my baby daddy juking around. Too late for Pink Slaminate to contain him. 4
We have
points
Spencer
up.
Sleep out of the box and making his initial pass.
Pat quickly regrouping in turn 1 as Maelstrom's defense had expanded out. They came back in. Jam is called. 5 points up on that. So 31 in total. We are 5 minutes, 45 seconds in. And someone chimed in there. It's good to see Hasselman back in Derby. That's right. Number 7, formerly known as Peter Rottentail.
Yes.
Hasselman is back with Maelstrom this season.
I told him not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago at MVC that I was surprised to see him back, but happy still.
Yes, same here. I had to do a double take when we were at Mohawk Valley Cup. And I got a kick out of it, though. I was like, yeah.
Well, I asked him if he was here to watch.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm
no.
definitely not.
He had a jersey on for show. But right now, D-Ray pushing it out into turn 1, though getting driven to the outside. Andy is jamming, though drawn back by Spencer Sleep behind the jammer line. So we'll see right now a slow grind happening on both sides.
D-Ray pushing up. Andy also pushing up. A battle of wits.
Battle of wits, hips, and shoulders.
And D-Ray ends up with the lead jam on this one.
With a smile, perhaps, of relief, because that was a tough journey out of the pack. Maelstrom has passed the star to Pickering. D-Ray exiting the pack, one-footed, putting up the 4 points. Feeling it. You could tell it was hard getting through there, but at the same time, able to make it happen. And yes, Kenny Cloudkicker is also a returning skater, so Derby name not allowed. Thank you for pointing that out.
See, I never played against Cloud Kicker. He was gone before I started playing men's derby.
No, Cloud Kicker had been with Maelstrom for a while.
Yes.
Post Connecticut Death Quads.
Yes.
Yes. Same with Pearl Jammer, but Pearl Jammer has remained.
And Dirty Frank.
Yeah, Dirty Frank too.
Hasselman, though, has definitely given me quite the hassle when I played against him.
Yes. But right now, we have a Rosencrom pivot for Maelstrom to the penalty box, and it is
Senior Wiener
in stereo. Lead to his credit. As Chad said, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Oh, man.
Yep. Or it could be a Monster Energy drink, but guess what? We got that for free.
We have those.
Thanks to
Cloud
Monster.
Kicker out of the pack. And Wiener calls it off before Cloud Kicker can get back into the engagement zone.
Nothing. Sorry.
Nothing.
Okay.
So, like, really glad to see him back.
Yes. So, MBD versus Biff Malibu off the jammer line. So we're seeing that tight jammer rotation, keeping it usually within 3 jammers on both sides. And it is a 3-on-3 pack because both pivots in the box.
Nope.
With we saw Rosencrumb just return. Boxcar for Toronto currently standing.
And here she comes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Coming out of the box. That was Boxcar, right? Boxcar lays
Right.
some great offense to get Biff out.
Right now, Biff Malibu, little jammer defensive action coming from MBD on Biff Malibu, a little booty pop, to send that message. Back up off me, buddy.
And he did end up getting the 1 point
Yeah, just one.
to Biff's none for that little pop that slowed him down.
So it's 32-8 right now, and currently with 20 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in period 1, it is moving along pretty rapidly.
Don't jinx it.
I'm not. It does not go slow with these teams.
Oh, I like
Apex,
this.
we know.
We have Andy and D-Ray lined up like linebackers.
But Andy, she is taking the defensive jammer route with a shoulder block that drove back D-Ray.
I really like that.
I know. It's great, right? It was creative. And I got to hand it to Andy because we're seeing her do some great things this weekend. Okay, a direction of gameplay called on Armin Hammer. Having a seat in the box, just Terror joining him. So a 4-2 pack advantage, though D-Ray.
D-Ray does come out, but Andy is right behind him.
That's right, and lead secured by D-Ray. So right now, Pat picking up some speed. 2-pack Shocker working to catch up with Boxcar, who is driving the pace of the pack. It's not always a productive move to
Well, they got
race.
D-Ray 2 points.
Correct. None for Andy. So 10 points in total for Toronto to Maelstrom's 32, under the 20-minute mark now. Oh, I'm taking a look and I'm seeing, talk about the camera and asking about colors, and there's all sorts of nerdy broadcaster stuff, Chad. But that's good, and we appreciate the feedback from our viewers because that way we know it allows Chad to be able to keep a high-quality broadcast for all of you. So currently it is an official timeout. It appears to have been some track maintenance, getting things locked down on the inside line.
We have Senior Wiener lining up against Cloud Kicker for Maelstrom.
It is a 3-2 pack advantage starting off Jam 9 because we have 2 blockers for Toronto and 1 for Maelstrom currently in the penalty box. Though Armin Hammer is standing, returning shortly. Wiener to the outside lane and able to Gumby it.
Yep, he's
but
still in.
there we go. Gumbying through, lead to his credit, and Spencer Sleep working the drawback on Cloud Kicker in the front stretch, right in front of the jammer line. Currently, that flurry of blue and white moving along to turn 2.
Cloud Kicker is now out of the pack.
But 4 points on the scoring trip for Wiener, where Cloud Kicker is now eligible to score, but this is why we see the pack racing. They're trying to save their points and also wear out the opposing jammer. Liz noted about how the floor is the only thing that looks really yellow because of the camera. However, it's just the floor in here. We know it's a chippy painted concrete. It's a good time. It's great when you go to scrub it off your wheels.
Oh, I'm sure that it is.
But it's the nature of the beast.
You know, you have ice on it all winter.
It's true.
It gets a little chippy during the summer.
So your favorite jammer record, at least to call mean, is MBD, My Baby Daddy.
Who isn't mean even a little bit.
No, he's so incredibly sweet. Very nice. And the head of Maelstrom, lead to his credit, Biff Malibu working it out. Does get past Count Recula and Pickering. About a lap behind My Baby Daddy.
My baby daddy with the call off. He got 1 point. Well, another point. Was it just one? One point.
Just one. And
he had to call off before Biff got any, though.
True. And, you know, that's Maelstrom sitting at 33 points.
Looks like we have an official review for Toronto.
So while we have a moment, I hear that there's a fantabulous production sponsor. New England Roller Derby Report would like to thank their production sponsor, Sociopath. Sociopath is a skater-run business offering custom sewn-to-order legwear for teams and individuals. Yes, legwear, meaning leggings. Size-inclusive activewear designed to fit you. Sociopath also offers dozens of armband and helmet cover options for scrimmage and competition. Team discounts are available. Please see sociopath.ca for more details. And yes, Sociopath is spelled SEWCIOPATH.ca, as in Canada, our neighbors to the north. Okay, so we'll wait for the results. Nice thing is we've had our alt ref coming on over and giving us some information. That's always nice. And while we wait, and talking about those officials, of course, let's meet the officiating roster. So off skates, we have our head NSO, Matant, Recordian, Six-Tap, or known today as RVGB, Just Sean, Sprocket, D-Baggins, Kinky Linky, Kill Eddie, Brady Punch, and TBD. But right now, Guinness is giving Apex the lowdown on the official review. But our on-skates officials today, Axis of Stevel, This'll Be Painful, Wifo, Dizzy DeCapo, Babel Fishy, Peterson, and Decrypt Keeper. Thank you for all that you do. We could not run this event without you. So what's the deal, Apex?
Well, the deal is Toronto was looking for a skating out of bounds on the jammer, but it was seen that the jammer was trying to do an apex jump and landed out of bounds, was not skating straight out of bounds.
Okay, so the no call will stand.
No call will stand.
Official review was not retained.
Now we have Andy up against D-Ray again. Andy once again pushing some defense first before going in for herself.
And D-Ray definitely caught up in a blocker jammer sandwich, because Andy actually smiling and laughing, going, what was that, as D-Ray disengaged. But right now, both jammers in the pack. Andy at the back, D-Ray out first. Lead, no, not lead. So lead is open. Andy is seeing that and going for it with gusto. She does secure lead at 31 seconds, and the bench is calling for her to call it off, but then they wait. There we go.
And now she does.
You know, sometimes just a little patience and then figure it out.
Looks like D-Ray did pick up 3 on that jam.
Yes, and that was due to a no point, no penalty. That was the reason why he did not get lead. And it appears folks are talking about roller derby excuses for the workplace. Dreadhawk, the Dreadhawk 54, your employee has been excused from work activities due to his love of roller derby, or love of derby.
I once actually got in trouble at work because I was watching Man Champs last year on my phone at the bar, and didn't see people come to sit at the bar who needed drinks. So that happened.
Well, let's not do that again. But we have a penalty assessed. It appears to have been a misconduct for hitting a down skater. I see the hand being drawn across by Thistle. So senior Wiener in the penalty box. Kenny Cloud kicker with lead and the power jam opportunity. Maelstrom's offense going in with a little help. 3 points for Cloud kicker.
Making sure to call off so Maelstrom gets the start on the power jam again with My Baby Daddy.
Putting Wiener on ice. And Jessicutioner doing the things, maintaining the track. Hailing from Monadnock. We have many.
Hailing from where?
Monadnock.
Monadnock.
Roller Derby in New Hampshire. And we have several volunteers from throughout the Derby community present here at Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational.
That was me last year.
Yes, you were the master tape technician.
I was the master adhesive.
Oh, well, it was master adhesive demarcation technician.
Yes.
That is the correct
full
term.
title for me. I'm the only one who's ever had that title and the only one who ever will.
Well, for the master.
Right.
Of it, yes.
Master, yes.
The others are just adhesive demarcation technicians.
So for Bob H., my first year I just came here to watch. Then I volunteered.
Mhm.
Now I'm NSOing and announcing. So I'm moving on up in the world.
Look at you, boosting those derby skills. That's just it. I was saying earlier, it really takes a village within roller derby to make these events happen, and it's because folks wear many hats. Whether it's folks like my baby daddy, leading Maelstrom, while
Also
not only,
coaching.
right, coaching Twin State. D-Ray also coaching Muddy River.
Absolutely.
Filling in for Chuck because Chuck was ill. But skating the tournament, coaching at the tournament, doing behind the scenes work, or folks with the two hats like yourself, officiating and announcing, and it all feeds into it. And we are grateful for everyone who puts in so much of their own blood, sweat, and tears into these events. But right now, Cloud Kicker back at it. Senior Wiener was released from the penalty box.
Both trying to push their way through these very difficult walls.
And right now in the back stretch, we have a twosome of Dirty Frank and Rosencrom, and Filthy Franklin himself was the last line of defense against Wiener, keeping lead from being declared till about the 45-second in mark. But slicing down like a hot knife through butter, Senior Wiener picks up 4 points. Count Recula to the penalty box, so 4-3 pack
Cloud
advantage.
Kicker with a big hit to bust up that wall. And oop.
So that oop was a little bit of a stumble happening there. Rosencrom attempting to break up Spencer Sleep and Company to allow Cloud Kicker through. 4 more for Senior Wiener and Toronto.
Cloud Kicker is out now.
Pack keeping it slow, placed in turn 1. Cloud Kicker ends up hitting the floor. We're seeing Toronto really putting in work on Cloud Kicker.
Yep, and Wiener is up to 12 points in this jam so far.
He had preloaded a call off, but got right back up and dropped his hands right as he met the Reckoning and Rosencrom at the back of the pack, braced by Dirty Frank. Okay, and the Reckoning, actually, if you notice, because I know folks were chatting about it early on, there was an injury sustained this morning. Reckoning broke a finger. So she is sporting a little splint. You'll notice if you look closely on the stream, her fingers are taped together, but that's just how derby rolls, right? As long as they're hopefully not rolling over your fingers, because that just stinks. But guess what? Right now we have a 5-point game due to that 16-point jam from Senior Wiener, bringing Toronto to 33 points. Mass Maelstrom at 38.
Looks like we have Biff for Toronto and my baby daddy from Maelstrom. Maelstrom.
Yeah.
Maelstrom.
It's funny how your regionalisms slip out. Trust me, I know. So you sounded so Rochester there for a moment.
Well, that's just who I am as a person.
That's right. And right now, speaking of who they are as people, lead jammer, in fact, is Biff Malibu of Toronto Outrage.
My baby daddy out of the pack.
Now, right now, we are seeing Spencer Sleep cycle back to Pack Shocker, working on keeping the pack within Toronto's control. Jam is called, 3 points up for Biff Malibu, 36. For Toronto, makes it a 2-point game as Maelstrom held scoreless, and they sit at 38. And hey, Apple Corey, thanks for tuning in. I know you always do. We appreciate you. And Liz, yeah, I know. That's how derby rolls, as long as it's not over my fingers. D-Ray versus Andy on the jammer line. Familiar rotation. You know, both teams keeping the rotation tight in order to maximize their efforts. Hasselman, Rosenkrom, and Dirty Frank working to drive D-Ray to the outside. A great deal of power expelled in order to throw him out there. But D-Ray juking around the outside, able to surpass the Maelstrom defense,
And
if only for a minute.
Andy picks up lead right in front of D-Ray. So now it's a race to get back to the pack. And the pack is racing because each person wants to get to the front.
And both jammers have had great successes today going over the apex, but in this case, D-Ray did get cycled back. We've got some skaters down, so going to get some medical attention, and we will get back to that and make sure we check in with you, let you know everyone's okay. Skaters returning to benches. Oh, Apple Corey, we dare to dream. Love the West Coast time difference. Sunday nap and derby. That is the perfect lazy Sunday. But yes, so here at Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational, this is game number 11. That leaves just one.
Just one.
And game 12, that will be around 7 p.m. today. And Mohawk Valley's Quad Fathers will take on Roller Derby Masculine, the Mont Royals of Montreal.
And you can find me jam timing that one.
Oh, wait. We'll see. I'll be camera operating. Watch out. I might be awkward and zoom in on you.
That camera again?
Yes.
Good. I'll give you my sass face like I did the whole last game.
Did you catch that at all?
Oh,
Chad, you're going to have to go back.
I never watched roller derby when I'm doing this.
Oh.
I'm not roller derby. I just make sass faces from the very center of
So-
the track like this.
Apex had the sassiest jam timer face I have ever seen. She actually was signaling official timeout, and I had the camera. I was just panning across because it was taking a little while, and I figured, okay, let's look at the crowd, let's look at the benches, moving the camera along, and all of a sudden, Apex notices, turns, and does this. Flexes her muscles
I started
instead of touching
doing
the
a
shoulders.
flex timeout.
It was great. It was amusing.
And don't worry, tickets to the gun show on Twitch are free.
And we see a cheer for the Quad Fathers there. Thanks a lot. And just wanted to confirm, that was Spencer Sleep, who did hit the floor, received some medical attention, got up of his own accord, and is being checked out so we can make sure safe derby occurs. Yes.
Safe derby is the best kind of derby.
It really is. And
Looks like
that's-
we have our friend Senior Wiener against our other friend, my baby daddy, lining up here,
who are also friends.
who are everyone's friends.
Oh, yes, they are.
I love men's derby. Oh, a little booty shake for MBD from Senior Wiener.
Well, this is the funny thing, because we haven't had music in the venue because, frankly, it is a noise issue here.
Yes, it is.
A lot of echo.
Wiener pushing up on Pickering there.
Though having to juke around because we know Pickering is a wall of one at times. But right now, MBD getting caught up in the shuffle that is the outrage defense. Boxcar aiming to pull a cut, not successful. Recula hoping to detain Pink's Laminate, but she works the drawback on MBD. He's lead, so calls the jam before Wiener hits the pack. No points for Senior Wiener and Outrage, but 3 for MBD and Maelstrom.
All right, looks like we have Andy here against Biff again.
Now Maelstrom, their defense opting to take the jammer line. We've got Tupac Shocker along with Captain Blivet, Rosenkrom, and Dirty Frank, hoping to really take any possible momentum away from Biff Malibu. Though Billy the Kid working to go for a pick. Captain Blivet is a tough to move force. I know. I've been hit by him in open scrimmage.
Yeah, and
Ouch.
let me tell you, going against Shocker and Frank
That's a tough
is
one.
nothing that I like doing.
We're talking slow grind totally, and I do mean that in the most defensive way possible.
Oh, but Biff
lead.
does get lead.
Found a small opening and worked his way through.
Andy coming up right behind, about a half a track length apart.
We saw some spills in 1.5, but right now, Maelstrom taking their spot in the back of the pack, and a beautiful apex jump from Andy at
All
Jansen.
4 points.
And she is happy. having
She gets all 4 points to Biff's 1.
Yeah,
Did
taking
not call
flight.
off in time.
Andy took flight in turn 2 for sure. Let's look at that jump. Ah, gorgeous.
In the game I was
And
jam
no,
timing.
he's sitting there.
In the game I was jam timing earlier, I think it was game 2 today.
Yes.
So game 8, Andy did a double apex jump. 1 foot, jumped one of the apexes,
Yeah.
landed on 1 foot, didn't even put the other one down, jumped the other one over the other half of the people.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to make any faces because I'm team no fun, but in my heart, it exploded.
Right? Seriously, so incredibly graceful. She makes it look easy.
Ugh.
But right now, MBD getting caught on up on Boxcar, who has been a defensive force for the Outrage. D-Ray.
A little hop around boxcar gets MBD that lead jam.
Now, D-Ray using the deceptive tactic of pushing on the seams, which cleared the outside straightaway line, able to capitalize, gets through, but MBD calls it before any points go up for D-Ray.
So MBD gets 2 points. It looks like 2, or is there a thumb out? There's a
Oh,
thumb
there are
out.
3.
3 points to D-Ray's 0.
So 51 for Maelstrom, Toronto Outrage 37. So 14 points separate the two. 7 points, not 7 points, 7 minutes. Two back-to-back broadcast calls, and I'm only halfway.
And this
no,
is
actually
just-
not quite halfway through my second monster, so I need to keep working on this.
Yeah, we need more.
The senior wiener working on that wall. Kenny Cloudkicker doing the same. So 1 on each side of the pack, but senior wiener leveled by Dirty Frank, and Rosenkrom putting some body on senior wiener, who is continuing to push up on Maelstrom's line and going right around. Dirty Frank was the last member of that defense. Lead secured, 23 seconds.
And there is a star pass for Maelstrom to Rosenkrom. Right? Yes.
Yes, that is Rosenkrom. And Rosenkrom actually came in handy at Mohawk Valley Cup. Really just that key pivot who took quite a few star passes, second to none other than Pickering. Right now, two-pack Shocker standing in the penalty box will return shortly. A static pack, mid-back stretch.
And here's Wiener once again Gumbying his way through everybody.
But Spencer Sleep looking to contain Rosenkrom, successfully drives him to the outside. And we've got a cube.
That's 4
of
more
Toronto.
for Wiener. That should be 8 on the jam so far.
6 points separate the two teams due to Wiener's gains. And Cloudkicker to the penalty box. Wiener driven out right in front of us. Perfect front row seat here. But gets right back in, cuts to the inside line, picks up 4 more points. And we're seeing Rosenkrom get around Billy the Kid, just finally putting the star on his head. Taking off the pivot strike first. I've seen that. Some folks tend to like that. I don't know. Interesting strategy. 4 points for Wiener. We've got a replay here. Check out that footwork, which took Wiener to the outside, but then gets leveled by the shoulder of Filthy Franklin himself.
Filthy Franklin. That is a 15-point jam for Wiener.
Wow.
Oh, and a lead change. All right.
Indeed. So 52 to 51.
All
1
right.
point. All right for Toronto.
All right.
Not all right for Maelstrom, but we'll see what happens here. This is exactly what happens when you have teams that are so closely matched, and it makes it all the more exciting for the rest of us. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, I understand. We know this, getting through a few tournaments, and every once in a while, you just got to take a sec. Now, Andy getting slammed with the shoulder of Spencer Sleep, but she secures lead. Though hot on her heels, we've got Viv Malibu, seriously, like, he
One
could reach
stride.
out and touch her.
Yeah. Reach out and touch Faith.
Yeah, no, Andy doesn't like that, so she's calling it off. Says, no, none for you, no points for me, no points for
I don't
you.
like this. All set.
Mm-hmm. Liz, watch the road rage.
Were you singing Depeche Mode down there?
Yes,
Yeah,
she
I
was. She was singing Personal Jesus.
You're welcome. We have MBD lining up with D-Ray.
Under 4 minutes remain in the period. And did you know that Drop Dead Gorgon, the next game, the last game of the tournament, is game number 400 for her.
I do know, and I'm so excited.
It's quite exciting. And what else is exciting for Toronto? D-Ray secures lead and able to completely dodge MBD
and
Dirty
Frank. That was a very, very nice dip at the end.
Making that bean dip work.
That's because he works with Montreal all the time. He's got all those little bean dip skills.
Well, it's really just a testament to time put it on skates. Everybody's
Absolutely.
got it, and we all work on different things. But D-Ray's skills have worked in his favor this weekend, definitely breaking out all of the tools in the Jammer toolbox. 8 points so far for D-Ray and Toronto.
And D-Ray will call before MBD comes back up. He gets 3 more points, making that a total of 11, putting Toronto at 63 to Maelstrom's 51, with just about 2.5 minutes left in the half.
Three points still being held up. And I believe they were confirmed already. I had to do a double take.
I do now have personal Jesus stuck in my head. That's fine.
Reach out and touch me. We might have to have a dance party during the intermission, Chad. Just giving you a heads up. But he's got a good playlist. Right now, Hasselman and Maiko. It is Old School Maelstrom Reunited working on Senior Wiener.
Andy comes out with the lead.
She snags it.
But
Wiener not far
Senior
behind.
Wiener about a quarter track behind. Spencer Sleep looking to stop Andy in her tracks. And it does work a little bit because, oh no, it did. It worked all the way. That is a 0-0 jam.
First scoreless, or maybe one, or I think that maybe the second or third scoreless jam, because with things so closely matched, I do know it's been the tug of war the whole way.
We now have Biff for Toronto with MBD for Maelstrom up on the line.
Toronto's defense taking the front, sitting close on Maelstrom's defense, and a veritable squish off the line there. MBD powering around, but gets leveled by Spencer Sleep's shoulder, driven out to turn one.
Let me tell you, I have taken Spencer Sleep's shoulder to the chest before. It is so painful.
Yes.
But he always helps you up later, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. You know, he's incredibly effective, and that's exactly why he ended up with the tournament MVP award at the North American Qualifier last year.
Yes, he did.
Lead secured by MBD about 32 seconds in. And seeing Biff Malibu driven to the outside and drawn back by Dirty Frank.
Yeah, somebody has a skate undone or something over there.
Oh, that's Rancor.
And MBD picks up a track cut, which means we'll be going the full 2 minutes. Well, 1 more minute.
And Spencer Sleep gets dropped in the backstretch by Captain Blivett. Not something you see all the time, but I have also been leveled by Blivett on the track, so I understand.
See, I've never had the. Now they're just gonna push on each other a little bit.
Look at that.
A little man derby.
Well, not even just that. Blivett doesn't want to be the GOAT. So right now he's going to be as big of a pain as possible to Toronto's defense. And it proves to be effective. It takes Arm & Hammer out of there. An out-of-play block call on him. And Biff Malibu picks up 4, back at it. MBD on the track. It's taken out by Sleep. Out-of-play block call on Rancor for Maelstrom. So seeing lots of turnaround in that penalty box, getting activity.
Another big shoulder for MBD. Oh, looks like he also picked up a forearm on that one, though.
Okay, Spencer Sleep does go off to the box, gets waved back because he was in the queue.
That box is full.
Yes. 8-4 on that jam for Toronto. That takes them to 71, 16 points ahead of Maelstrom's 55. We have arrived at intermission. We'll be back probably about 10 minutes or so we'll see you back on twitch.tv/nerdderby. And I'm Beautiful Banshee.
I'm a... All right.
Okay, welcome back. We have finished halftime here at Game 11 at Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2019. Don't mind us. We did have a dancing and
It was a
karaoke party
great-
to Poison Arrow that led into our return to the game. And yes, we have MBD versus Senior Wiener on the track facing off, and they're in the pack right now. But just wanted to give you a quick recap on the penalties. I checked them out at halftime. Toronto has 12 penalties at the end of period 1, 13 for Maelstrom. And the interesting thing about this, Maelstrom doesn't have any skaters at 4 or more penalties at the end of period 1. And Toronto has just 1. And again, that is the trend. That is Spencer Sleep. And that does tend to be the case because of the force that he is and some of the blocking that is necessary, sometimes sacrificial. So he's at 4. But overall, no one in any particular danger.
No.
But getting to it.
Just, everybody getting their 1 or 2.
4 points up for Maelstrom. They're at 59. Just 12 points separate them and Toronto. They're at 71. And we're just 55 seconds into period 2.
Oh, we have D-Ray and Andy doing the old linebacker start again.
And it proved effective for Andy the first time she tried it. But right now, D-Ray and Andy both getting caught up on that straightaway on the outside. Slow grind, keeping the pack.
It appears that
Right
Andy
around
was
pivot,
still
yeah.
playing some defense on that one.
It's true. That was part of the squish.
The squish.
The squish,
I like that.
or the hard press, French press, some call it. But lead secured by D-Ray Pickering to the penalty box. So Andy does not have her pivot just in case, at least for 30 seconds.
And Andy is out of the pack, not too far behind D-Ray. Looks like D-Ray's going to pick up his points and call off the jam. And confirmation, he did get all 4 points before calling off, making Toronto up to 75 and Mass Maelstrom still at 59 with about 28 minutes left in the game.
It will be a 3-on-3 pack heading into Jam 3 of period 2. So that's why we have, reduced lines there.
I do like this Maelstrom jammer. Seems like each jammer seems to play a little bit of defense to kind of push the opposing jammer into their wall.
It's the tease.
I like
it's
it.
oh, hey, watch out. It's a trap. But we're still going to get you.
It's a trap.
Yes, I know. I had to reference Star Wars.
Thank you.
Admiral Akbar. Yes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Exactly.
Pickering back out on the track.
And Biff Malibu to the penalty box. So power jam in favor of Cloud Kicker, securing lead at 35 seconds in. And right now, Maelstrom setting up for the pick as Toronto's 2 blockers are at the front, just at the edge of turn 1.
And Maelstrom doing a great job keeping Street Fight Manifesto back as a goat to pull the pack to the back.
Pink's Laminade left to do the work on her own. She gets knocked down 2 jams in a row. So that's the, not 2 jams, 2 scoring trips in a row from Kenny Cloud Kicker, working the shoulder, doing what's necessary. Sometimes it's not advantageous to backwards block in that scenario.
No, you definitely don't want to be a single backwards blocker coming with Kenny Cloud Kicker coming at you.
Well, we'll see if that strategy may change, but Cloud Kicker picks up a penalty as well off to the box. So right now, Biff Malibu released. And stashing the star, getting crushed in those elevator doors of Tupac Shocker and Rosencrom. And that stash turned into a pass to Spencer Sleep. So Sleep is a veteran member of the Outreach. And going in like a wrecking ball up against Pickering. And taking on that tripod, but able to attack the links.
Dirty Frank does pick up a multiplayer block, sending him to the box.
And that's exactly why Sleep attacked the links, knowing that he could reduce the numbers on the track. 8-4 in favor of Maelstrom. 67 for them, 79 for Toronto. So a 12-point game seems to be the differential that has been constant. And for our friends who might have just joined us for this game on twitch.tv/nerdderby. In the event that you are an Amazon Prime member, you can subscribe to Nerd Derby as your one Twitch channel to have included in your Prime subscription. So no cost to you, but it does support twitch.tv/nerdderby. So do what you can, and I know Chad's going to put the link out there for you. 4 points on Toronto, so 0 for that, 83-67.
Yes, an absolute beautiful apex jump from Senior Wiener before calling it off to make sure Maelstrom does not get any points on that jam.
I'm sure there will be more to come because Wiener likes to catch air where he can. But that's okay. Liz, if you go into your Amazon Prime account, I know because I ran into the same problem. If you go to Amazon Prime account, your settings, you can go to Twitch under the settings in the app, and it will link for you. You can go in and add a subscription, and you can choose Nerd Derby as your channel. So definitely go and do that if you can. And if you can't do it on your phone, just do it later on your desktop. It still benefits them. So thanks a lot for thinking of New England Roller Derby Report because they will continue for as long as they can to bring you high-quality Derby broadcasts at no cost to you. Or as I like to say, the low price of $3.99. $3.99.
That is my favorite
Girl, I'm the
price.
bootleg queen. All right, let's see. What's this? I'm helping Apex actually get this set up right now. And we have an extended timeout going on, but that's
Official
okay.
timeout.
Well, you know, confirming points and such. It's very important. And right now on the app, I am just looking to see what we have here, but apparently it doesn't like me. So we're going to, oh, here we go. Under your account. Log in. There we go.
I don't know what my password is.
Well, we can deal with it later. And Chad says buy him something. He's not saying that to the Nerd Derby audience, but he's telling Apex to do it.
Sure.
Buy Chad a present. Be careful. You don't know what you're going to get from Apex if you tell her to buy a present. She will find something so incredibly awkward, and she'll wait to send it. So it will take you by complete surprise. Shock and awe is her specialty.
I've been known to send people the potatoes. They have those potatoes where they'll write a message on them,
Really?
the anonymous potato. I sent one to Peroxide from Casco Bay.
Oh.
I've sent
Anonymous
toxic,
potato.
narcotic, random junk for no reason.
That's awesome. You're creative.
I am.
Yes.
Oh, gameplay back on. We have D-Ray from Toronto and Andy picking up a quick lead in this jam. D-Ray still fighting, got Hasselman, got through.
So that was a no point, no penalty for D-Ray. And now we're seeing Felon of Troy signal for the call-off. Andy goes for it. No points for Maelstrom, though D-Ray, because of perseverance, which seems to be the constant for him, picks up 2. Definitely pays off.
Yes, he is a very, very scrappy jammer.
Cloud Kicker versus Wiener off the jammer line. Right now, we've got Pickering standing in the penalty box, and Billy the Kid in the box for Toronto. So we've got that 3-on-3. Braced 2-wall from each team. And seeing Toronto's braced 2-wall pick the braced 2-wall from Maelstrom that took the back. That is an impressive move, and perhaps we'll see more of that. But right now, Peck swirling and twirling. Maelstrom taking the front. Boxcar getting up in there, trying to break it up, and is successful. Open middle lane for Senior Wiener. Calls it off as he arrives, spinning into turn 4. Well, we'll get you hooked up on Prime through Prime later, Apex. But I do subscribe, so proudly support New England Roller Derby Report.
I must support.
Yes.
Now we have MBD for Maelstrom.
You know, we love what you do. That's all. And
We
glad
really do.
No, it's true. And this isn't just blowing smoke. And I consider myself very lucky to have the opportunity to work with Chad as often as I have. I don't even know how many times we've worked together this year already. At least 3. Yeah. Except for Le Foire du Nord. Oh, I wasn't at Modus this year either. So 2 out of 5 I did not. But
I'll tell you, I was very excited to hear I was on broadcast this weekend.
it's pretty great. I mean, this is pretty much the, the G6 of roller derby broadcast. But Michael Pavic off to the penalty box. So 43 pack advantage for Toronto. Oh, no. There will be 3 blockers in the box. Nope, 2 for now. Rancor is in the queue. 2-pack Shocker joining Maiko. And Biff Malibu making progress on the scoring trip. Picks up 4, calls it as MBD exits after stashing the star. So 93-67. 18 timeout for Mass Maelstrom. Sorry, my monster kicked in.
My monster. I'm now trying this this kind of monster, low carb blue something monster.
Low carb monster
that I stole
energy.
from Mark.
Now
It tastes like sweet tarts. It's really sweet. Like I'm gonna have heartburn later for sure.
Well, let's see the ingredient label here. Well, this isn't the sugar-free one.
No, I like sugar.
I mean, sugar is delicious. Don't get me wrong. But I have the 0-calorie one.
That's
Ultra
the one
Paradise.
I just finished before I started this one.
How many are you on today?
6.
Oh my. No.
This is 6.
Okay. I mean, not to be mistaken for 6 tats.
This can is 6.
So Apex is working on her 6th Monster Energy drink today, which we are grateful for the sponsorship. Thank you, Monster Energy Drink. I am a big fan of the Ultra Paradise. It's fantastic. And what I get a kick out of is on the can it says, "Where is paradise? A chalet on the slopes, a streamside ranch, or a penthouse in the city? How about a private island with a white sand beach, turquoise water, and a
That's the
gentle
one.
tropical breeze?"
That
That
is the
sounds
one.
good. I want that. Monster Ultra Paradise, pure, crisp, invigorating island flavors. Kick back and enjoy. Paradise is wherever you can find it. And then unleash the Ultra Beast.
I will tell you, I had 7 yesterday
So
and
good.
could not sleep.
Yeah, drink some water after this and then sleep. And a straightaway / apex jump coming from D-Ray, a little hippity-hoppity, securing lead, picking up some serious height.
Yeah, for being one of these shorter jammers.
A lower stature, yeah, smaller stature.
In the men's league, he could get some absolute air. Andy out of the pack, following very closely behind.
Low center of gravity equals power. Right now, 2-pack Shocker released from the penalty box. Rancor responding because he was in the queue, now having a seat. Oh my, and the crowd going wild. We do have a decent amount of fans still hanging out on this gorgeous afternoon.
Now let me tell you, this is a Maelstrom wall that I would not want to have to go against with Dirty Frank, Pickering, and Rosencrom. Would not, but it's Senior Wiener.
Yeah.
So let's see him. He's already Gumbying himself.
He's got the
right
Gumby
beforehand.
Or wacky, was it wacky?
The wacky
waving,
inflatable,
wacky waving
yep.
inflatable tube-arm guy. Yeah.
Yeah, say that again fast.
I can't. I can do the micro machine thing, but I cannot do the Rhode Island car commercial announcer speed talk. But I can definitely wave my arms in the air like that, yes.
Yeah, oh, very well.
Good job.
And
but 100 points right now for Toronto.
And Wiener does get lead.
A beautiful little apex jump, turn 2.
And Pickering into the box as Rancor comes out of the box. A little swap.
Sadly for Wiener, Pickering out of his way. Not so sad, really.
I was going to say sadly.
I know.
The
They're
opposite,
buddies.
gladly.
4 points for Senior Wiener. Cloud Kicker driven to the outside in turn 3 and hopping on over turn 3. Senior Wiener puts up an additional 4, so 8 thus far. Excuse me. That is the one thing. We know how it goes in these rinks. Gets a little dusty.
It does.
Cutting the track penalty.
Senior Wiener gets a cutting the track. Right before that, Rancor got a low block for taking out Wiener at the legs. Pickering is standing in the box now. The pack is so small.
Rosencrom and Dirty Frank able to roll Spencer Sleep to the infield. And Cloud Kicker, though, trying to go around safe side, but Spencer Sleep, expert tracking of jammers. Yes. Wacky waving arm inflatable tube man. Not going to say that 4 times fast, Jim, because not going to happen at this point.
Pickering back in at this point to help Dirty Frank and company.
Billy the Kid sitting on Cloud Kicker as he pushes toward the jammer line. Right now, Cloud Kicker working with lanes 1 and 2. Pink's Lemonade forcing Cloud Kicker to the infield. That was for sure discouraging, though Cloud Kicker, despite all of the pushing, did pick up all 4 points. An additional 4 for Wiener upon returning, and that's a 12-4 jam, 112 for Toronto, 71 Maelstrom.
Just about 19 minutes left in this game.
I'm sorry, Jim, to disappoint. Wacky waving arm inflatable tube bin. There you go. That's the best I can do, but I can't do that multiple times in a row. Not at this point in the day, but CAC has that down. That's for sure.
For show.
For show. All right, and one thing for show, we do have an official timeout, so we will patiently await return of gameplay. Make sure that you are staying on top of everything for New England Roller Derby reports. You can follow Chad at Nerd Derby on Twitter. Make sure, Derby Twitter, you're out there. If you're not part of Derby Twitter, why aren't you? Join Twitter. Follow Chad. He posts some very entertaining things.
I don't understand how Twitter works. It makes me feel really old.
No, it doesn't. You're younger than me. Hush.
Yeah, but I hit 35 now officially, so.
Wow. Who
So
cares?
that's it. It's over
Guess
for
what?
me.
Derby is the fountain of
The intro webs.
No. Derby is the fountain of youth, friends, because especially if it makes you happy. I think that whatever you do in life, as long as it makes you happy, that is what keeps you young, and as long as you don't stop moving. Keep moving forward, doing things, and you're good.
I was informed that I look like I'm 26
Word.
today.
Good job.
It made me feel very happy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very, very happy.
Well, in any case, I wanted to bring that up. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was just this past week.
It was Tuesday.
So we
Going
didn't get
up
to,
on a Tuesday.
didn't get to have the super soft birthday party.
Ugh.
That will happen one of these days, even if it's later in the year.
We can
Maybe
have a super soft half birthday
at the NAC.
at the NAC.
I mean, technically it would only be quarter birthday because
that's fine.
we're both June. My birthday is coming up.
Gemini
a couple of weeks. Gemini season.
Gemini moon or whatever that stuff means.
I don't know. I laugh because I always think of Saturday Night Live. Gemini's twin. It was the Destiny's Child.
Yes, it was.
Take, and whenever they had Charlize Theron as the third person in the group, they're like, I rap, I sing, she pretty. And
She
because
pretty.
she just kind of like stands there and goes, Gemini's twin. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep, I remember that one too.
I love it so much. But know what else I love?
Some roller derby?
Roller derby, especially this flurry of blue and white before us. That is Maelstrom and the Outrage. Right now, Biff Malibu versus My Baby Daddy. Everybody is all up in that pack, which is in turn 2. No lead declared yet at 35 seconds in. Oh, hey, it's
Looks
Biff
like
Malibu.
Biff gets it. But MBD overtakes him. So I'm assuming he's going to, call it right off.
And all the blockers come tumbling down. That would be Blivet and Sleep in the back stretch. But both, doing the high five. Sorry, man. Here we go. And both making loud thuds because that's how concrete does. And
they're
neither
both
of them are
tall.
small people. They are both very tall.
Oh, here we go. We have the D-Ray Andy lineup coming up here. Will they once again do the linebacker? Because that's my new favorite thing, I think.
Well, currently, Andy is positioned. She's got her side to D-Ray. And D-Ray going with the drawback. Oh, perhaps heading for that Soul Crush. Even though the jammer lap point doesn't exist anymore, the Soul Crush still burns the clock. The pack catches up. And D-Ray with a smile like, oh, yeah, I did it. Andy through. Now let's see here what's going on. We have an out-of-play penalty called on Spencer Sleep. To the penalty box he goes. Pack picking up speed into turn 1, and D-Ray hustling from the inside line. Pack back at 1.5, now to 2. Lead declared at 40 seconds. It's Andy. She's able to beat D-Ray through. So while playing those little jammer games may be fun and burns the clock, it really didn't benefit Toronto. But we'll see. Sometimes they go for the psychological angle. Sometimes you have to play mind games.
Psychological warfare.
You do sometimes. But we had 2 points up for Andy and Maelstrom. So successful for her, leaving Maelstrom at 73. And a 112 still for Toronto. Just over 16 minutes remain in the game. And BD and Frank laughing about something.
This is the blocker circle from hell right here. Dirty Frank, Shocker, Hasselman, Rosencrom.
Yes. Just the strength right there.
Yeah,
There's so much power.
But Wiener still just absolute powers his way through, but MBD was already out on the what words? The thing.
See, that happens sometimes.
You know, where you're the first one, the thing.
Yes, lead.
Thanks.
As I like to say, because I know folks don't like to hear lead jammer a ton, because it's always lead jammer. Yes, I know. It can be repetitive. That's why I like to say lead achieved or lead secured. Picking up lead. We have a few options. Try to establish some variety for the folks there who are tuning in, and thank you once again. But I know it's tough because we do see a lot. Word economy and word variety. Those are things that we announcers work at very hard. Or that didn't come out well. Grammar was terrible, but you know what I meant. But speaking of things people were working hard at, Andy, she worked very hard to get out of the pack. Lead to her credit. So coming around, sidestepping the pack entirely. Great distractions provided. Not necessarily the same jammer circle from hell that you described, but Andy is all about this. She has a power jam due to a cutting the track penalty assessed to Biff Malibu. Andy is smiling. She's glad, takes those 4 points, gonna run with it. Static pack in the back stretch, anxiously awaiting her arrival. And Pickering able to distract the brace 2 wall from Toronto, swirling and twirling around the outside. Andy picks up 4 more. 12 so far. Right now, Biff Malibu standing in the penalty box and seeing a big push coming from Chiller, Recula, Pickering, and we're seeing Andy taken out in turn 1. She bounces right back in the middle of it, but Biff Malibu, fire in the belly, coming out aggressively, though it appears one of his own blockers, Peaks Laminade, hits the floor. Pickering working to detain Malibu, but Malibu is now eligible to score. We'll see if Andy calls it off before Biff hits the pack. Total of 4, that's 16 for Andy. I think she's looking to break the 100-point mark. So Chiller bouncing out Biff.
Back block penalty for Biff. He'll be going back to the box, finishing up this jam.
Yes, and it is a 2-minute jam, which Andy's going to make the most of. 11 seconds remaining. 20 points, I believe. Yes, 20 for Andy. So 3 points away from the century mark. She's really working to bridge the score gap. Let's see how many points in total on that last scoring trip.
Added 2 more.
And also there were 2 for Toronto.
Hiding in the pocket.
Yes, let's see. So it'll be 114. Yes, 114 to 99. So just 15 points separate the teams. You know, right on that verge. That drives me crazy. You're like, oh, come on, I just want that one.
Right. And with Biff still seated in the box,
yes,
my baby daddy will get that power start and a quick out of the pack for him.
Doing great part to Dirty Frank and Hasselman, able to wrap the Toronto defense from the inside, but some quick stepping. I mean, really, those hot feet from my baby daddy, though, unfortunately yield a cutting the track penalty.
Nope,
or was it back block?
He back blocked Senior Wiener out there, and Biff coming right back in.
Just the excuse that Biff Malibu needs to come back out with a vengeance, though, is driven out. That was by 2-pack Shocker and Dirty Frank. Frank to the penalty box. Biff
looks like for a low block.
Wiener as well off to the penalty box.
It is a little strange to see Wiener out on the track without any helmet cover, because usually he goes out at least as a pivot for a tired jammer who's been sent to the box a few times.
Well, you know, he's answering the call, doing what is needed for the team, and, you know, that's what most, well-rounded derby skaters can do, and it's great to see it. And MBD makes the rounds, picks up 4. Biff Malibu in scoring position. Pack going full speed ahead, aiming to save their points. We'll see if Maelstrom can be successful with that endeavor. And Rosencrumb driving out Biff Malibu with the hip. And Wiener back at it, leveling Dirty Frank, who is able to pop back up. We're seeing bodies hitting the floor all over the place. This time, it is Hasselman to the penalty box. 4 points up for Biff Malibu, 8-4.
Just about 20 seconds left in this jam, and it will go the whole time because my baby daddy was lead jam before he acquired his penalty.
Again, one more hitting the floor, Dirty Frank. But two-pack Shocker able to get back in there. MBD appears to have accrued another penalty. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I think
No,
it was
I'm
just
sorry.
the end of the, he knew there was 1 second left. He was all set.
Yes, this is what happens when I didn't look at the jam clock. 4 points up for MBD and Maelstrom. So right now, 111 after that 12-8 jam in favor of Maelstrom, and Toronto at 122, so 11 points separate the two, slowly but surely narrowing the score gap. And hey, Leslie, thanks for watching and cheering on Andy. Right now we have an official timeout.
Looks like the head ref is just having a little chat with the captains from both teams.
Perhaps where we started to see things get a little wild, bodies all over the floor. Just
Give a
just
little
a
warning on
quick
things
reminder.
like, hey guys, we see this happening.
For safety's sake, please, let's not go for those big swooping hits. It's really tempting. We know this as skaters.
Yes.
It can be very tempting. You're like, oh no! You do that slow-mo, no, I have to catch the jammer, I'm the last one. You gotta let it go and just focus on the next trip through the pack, or preventing the next trip. But Andy is facing off against D-Ray once again. We've seen them part their ways, and Andy swirling to the outside. D-Ray juking back and forth between lanes 1 and 3, trying to find an opening, but Andy does so first. She secures lead. D-Ray getting caught up in the fray. We've got Hasselman with that hip catch, driving D-Ray to the infield. There's a penalty being assessed at cutting the track to D-Ray. So power
but
jam.
also a back block to
Oh.
Andy. It's a race to the box to see who sits down first because of the jammer swap in the penalty box. D-Ray sits, and he's gone. He's back on the track, and now Andy is right behind him back on the track as well. That is my favorite thing that happens.
Yes, because I love it too, because there's always someone. It didn't happen here. They did it quickly just because they have business to tend to. Oh, D-Ray back to the penalty box for a back block. So it really is a power jam for Andy. She picks up 4. 115 for Maelstrom, now just a 7-point game. But there's always one jammer who will be like, okay, I'm going to take my sweet time, put my butt down on the seat, because we know, it's not the most polite of terms, but your time doesn't start till the meat hits the seat.
Absolutely.
It's just how it goes. Andy scoots by on the inside line.
Still another 30 seconds left in this jam.
3-point game.
Oh.
122 currently for Toronto, 119 for Andy and Maelstrom. Andy
D-Ray
getting driven
is
out.
standing in the box now, which means he will also have points to score, or a chance to score points. Words are hard.
True. Now, Pickering, Hasselman, and Rosencrumb working at containing D-Ray. Meanwhile, Andy is driven out by Pink's Laminate & Co. We'll see if she calls it off, but her pivot is out of the box, so at least it ran for that. A total of 1 point. Oh, no, 2.
We have a tie
Tie.
game.
122 all around. After 11 points for Mass Maelstrom, that is a happy bench. 8 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. We knew it was going to be good, folks. This is just how good. Drink, yes.
So good, so good. My hands are sweating about it.
Jim chimes in. Drink. Yeah, folks, if drink whatever beverage you have, be it bubbly water, energy drinks, or something a little stronger.
Oh, and we have Senior Wiener going to the box. MBD is out there fighting for his life to get through there.
We have all the smiles and the freakouts on the bench. I see El Ciolator and the Reckoning. They're sitting there, ear-to-ear grins and doing the power jam signals. MBD up the straightaway
There
over
we
the
go.
apex. Lead to his credit. And right now, though, we're seeing Biff Malibu pivot for Toronto, being held by Recula, Pearl Jammer, and Rosencrom, and disengaging after getting caught up. But Senior Wiener out with a quickness, going for the inside line in turn 2, but Pearl Jammer says, oh no, you shall not pass.
No. But here he is. He's gumbying his way in there.
My Baby Daddy picks up 3, 125 to 122 in favor of Mass Maelstrom. Right now, Biff Malibu and Boxcar working the drawback on MBD. Senior Wiener pressing up on that 2-wall, which is now Count Recula and Rosencrom. However, MBD going for a hit with a smile, of course, be like, hey, buddy, I'm going to get in your way. But 4 more for Maelstrom, 129 to 122, 7 points. Separate the 2 with Maelstrom on top at current. No points for Senior Wiener.
And here we have the now famous, to me, lineup of D-Ray versus Andy.
Oh, you know they both famous.
They both famous. I love seeing them pair up against each other.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you Jim, dear. Fabulous. I mixed you up with someone. So sorry. It's been a long day.
Quick timeout for Toronto here.
We just dubbed you Jim. I know. Sorry, Keith.
Jim.
Keith has an alias. Per Chad. No, Jim.
No, Jim.
You can't hear Chad, but in the background he's going, Jimmy. Oh, he gave you a heart. We still love you, and we appreciate that you bear with us. Kind of in a glass case of emotion right now here at Apex.
Well, Toronto needed to take this timeout. They needed to kind of regroup, settle down.
You must chill.
Things were getting a little
scattered. It happens. Yes.
See Spencer Sleep de-gearing. I'm not sure if he caught his 7th or something else, but I missed it.
Likely because Spencer Sleep was at 4.
Right.
We'll get confirmation for that.
Yeah.
There had been a few more, though, so perhaps the 7th had been reached.
7th heaven?
No, not heaven. Maybe for
Maelstrom.
opposition. Look at this. Blivett doing the linebacker thing with D-Ray, because D-Ray going for the shoulder in the seam, attempting to break apart the Toronto defense, but Andy going for the lines. She gets driven out by Boxcar.
D-Ray moving up. Trying to do the bean dip, but
there's so much happening back there. 2-pack shocker with a drawback. Lead secured by Andy at 29 seconds. But Pink Slaminade aiming to break it all up for D-Ray. But right now, 2-pack shocker and Mycopathic Chiller working together to contain D-Ray. Seeing some speedy feet, though. Pack gets moved into the backstretch. Andy gets by, picks up 4.
We have a star pass for Toronto.
To Boxcar.
Boxcar coming around.
Now, Boxcar is the captain of the Outrage. We're seeing Slaminade. Slaminade keeps getting knocked to the floor. She is an incredibly smart, stable skater, but sometimes if folks have the size on you, it happens to me too, and it's not fun.
That one was actually a direction from Chiller, so I don't think she was expecting that one.
Chiller to the penalty box.
Yes.
We see that. So 137 to 122, 15-point game in favor of Mass Maelstrom, and that was with an 8-point jam just a moment ago. Under 5 minutes remain in the game.
All right, we have Senior Wiener against,
Cloud Kicker.
Cloud Kicker, but an official timeout happening now.
Jam declared dead, so guess what? You have to wait.
You have to wait.
Cloud Kicker's like, wait. Yeah, and they're joking about it, so we know how it goes.
We're all friends here.
Yes, and also for anyone who has been an official, but also skates, they completely get that. And that applies to Senior Wiener.
And also Rosencrom.
That's true. I don't know about Kenny.
I don't think so.
I don't think Hasselman, because I know Hasselman was very much into jam skating before Derby. And what about Frank?
What about Frank?
I
learned
Frank. I learned a fun fact about Dirty Frank today.
What's that?
He's a park ranger by trade.
He is a park ranger, a state park
amazing.
ranger.
That is amazing.
He went down to Puerto Rico a couple months ago, or no, it was like last year for NAQ, right before then, to help clean up after the hurricanes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Dirty Frank is a really nice person.
Yes, making impact in the world around him.
Dirty on the track, clean on in your heart? I don't know.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
All
All right, and the jam is on. We have Senior Wiener versus Cloud Kicker. Wiener getting out of the pack quickly. Cloud Kicker still stuck a little behind Toronto's wall.
That is Boxcar working the space, able to contain positionally Cloud Kicker right at the edge of turn 2, but powering past Biff Malibu.
Wiener taking that outside line.
Now Wiener picks up 4, taking Toronto to 126. It is an 11-point game.
And he is going to run it.
And Cloud Kicker picking up, let's see, we have 3 or 4 there. We'll wait for that
All
4.
Senior Wiener wants to get through this pack again. He is twisting and turning, juking and jiving.
Juking and jiving. Jump, juke, and jive.
Pop, lock, and dropping.
We may have done a little bit of that last night at the end of the day.
Yeah, my hip was like, don't ever do that again. Wiener threw for another 4 points, giving his total 8. Cloud Kicker stuck in the pack, getting drawn back again by Biff.
Yeah, Biff and Kitty working hard on Cloud Kicker. Now, Hasselman and company at the front of the pack. We're seeing some bodies hitting the floor, but getting right back up. Wiener back on the floor, and that was a drop and run back with Mycopathic Chiller. Though Wiener, let's see what happens there. Forces the call off. We can tell there's some hugs there because
so many hugs.
Everybody was getting worn out. It can be pretty draining. A lot of the time people think, oh, well, the jammers, they probably get gas. It's not just the jammers, folks. Just in case you are not a skater and you are watching, I just want to put it out there. Blockers, sometimes it takes a toll on us too.
Oh, God, especially when you have a jammer that just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing.
Oh, relentless.
They get through. You get like maybe 8 seconds to regroup.
Don't get me wrong. I like it when people make me work on the track.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I really adore it. But, man, when it's happening, you just think everything hurts and I'm dying.
Yeah, and then like 25 minutes to 45 minutes after the game, you actually might be dying because your endorphins are gone from the game.
Well, we hope you're not dying, and then you just make sure you hydrate and take care of yourself. Self-care is essential. That's something we've talked about a lot through this weekend, to the point where Maelstrom was even so kind to set up stretching areas with yoga mats and complete with foam rollers. So pretty sweet to encourage self-care for our skaters. So D-Ray and my baby daddy setting on up. And just
they were having a nice little hug before that.
Oh, how sweet. At the end of Jam 18, it was 11-5 in favor of Toronto. They are at 133, just 9 points behind Maelstrom at 142. We have under 3 minutes remaining in the game. So we're seeing D-Ray pressing on some seams, seeing if he can attack the links, because we do have, potentially he could work with a multiplayer situation, but he's also just trying to maneuver in between Recula and company, and he does so. Gets by on the turn 1 apex lead to his credit. We see Biff Malibu to the penalty box. About a third of a track behind, about a half now. That is my baby daddy. Pack in turn 2. D-Ray up the infield, cuts to the outside. Oh, Mycopathic Chiller driving out D-Ray. D-Ray calls it. And Myco seems to have some thoughts. 4 points for Maelstrom's, my baby daddy. So there were 4 points as well for Toronto. So 137 to 146. Just 9 points separate the two. And
Toronto has taken a timeout with the 2 minutes left. More hugs on the track. I love
timeout might be
hugs.
needed. Folks need to, maybe just take a step back. It can get rather heated. And this is something we've discussed this before. And it's not just unique to MRDA. We see it in WFTDA as well. And I think any competitive contact sport, competitive sports in general, mental game is just as important as your physical game.
Absolutely.
And you can tell when a team's mental game has suffered a hit. And I'm not saying that's what's happened before us, but we've seen it different times throughout the weekend. We love the sweaty derby hugs, Keith, totally for that. It's interesting to me because more sweaty derby hugs are great. And I think specifically if the mental game starts to go, that would be a helper. But usually when the mental game starts going, that's when you see reckless hits and things get a little too disheveled on the track. But right now, Andy versus Wiener. Right now, both getting taken to opposite lines. Wiener on the inside, but Andy then getting pushed to the inside. Toronto at the back of the pack. Andy spinning out, getting taken to the outfield. Wiener securing lead. Biff Malibu to the penalty box.
And cover off for Andy, but just a stash comes through the pack.
She just wanted to get free.
Wiener picking up the points, and it looks like they are going to run it. They're going to run it and hope that Toronto can hold Andy back, which does not work, but Wiener is right behind, coming through the pack very quickly.
Well, Wiener's ability to push the speed actually divided the pack, but picked up a forearm call. So Senior Wiener having a seat in the penalty box. This leaves a power jam for Andy and Maelstrom. 4 more points.
Will run the entire last minute. Well, nope, 2 seconds will be left on the clock, and they can call a timeout to run that last jam.
Now, Maelstrom has 2 timeouts plus an official review remaining, whereas Toronto just has an official review.
Which
so
they can use for a timeout if they want to.
Definitely. And it will potentially come down to the last jam. Apicori, you are correct. 8-8 right now, 154 for Maelstrom, 145.
Wiener is back in.
For Toronto, yep. It is crunch time and lots of chaos. Wiener
Andy
is out
trying to hand off
to Rosencrom.
Star pass is complete for Maelstrom to Rosencrom. Wiener coming around to the pack again, coming in hot.
10 seconds, 8 seconds now on the jam clock, 9 seconds on the period clock. 3 points. There may be a
Toronto
correction.
is immediately calling their official review.
And that had to do with the fact that points were put up by the inside pack ref. It appears to have been corrected, not 3 points, 0 points, because Rosencrom had the pivot stripe, did not have the star on his helmet. So 14-11 on that. In favor of Toronto, narrows Maelstrom's lead to just 6 points. Toronto at 151.
Now
Maelstrom 157.
They did call their official review with 1 second left.
Yes.
So at least. Ooh.
Careful.
Oops. Okay, 2 seconds. 2 seconds back on the clock.
Yes, we must treat the microphone.
I know. I was
gently.
like waving my hands around all crazy because I'm all excited. I can't help
all
it.
Expressive over here. You're not the only one who's excited. You see the smile that was on D-Ray's face, but he's taking a sec to breathe.
I know, my knees are weak, my arms are heavy. There's no vomit on my sweater, though.
No vomit. Good job.
No vomit.
No mom's spaghetti.
Vomit. All right, here we go.
You know,
this last jam.
lose yourself in the moment. That's what they're going to do.
Is what this game comes down to. I love last jams that really, really matter. So we have My Baby Daddy and D-Ray.
And right now, we have half the crowd, the Maelstrom contingent, standing, and then the Mont Royals are over in turn 2. They are just watching this going, oh, wow, this is insane.
And maybe they're going to be cheering for their Canadian brethren.
Perhaps.
But you have all of, well, what is the league that My Baby Daddy coaches?
My Baby Daddy is with Twin State Derby.
So they're all.
That is Twin State / Maelstrom
ready
over in turn 1.
And turn 2 is Montreal. I feel like with Canada Day coming up, they'll probably.
Well, I mean, 2 different parts. They're from separate provinces, you know.
Well, that's true. But everyone celebrates Canada Day, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So, you know.
I know. But I'm just making sure it's distinguished. Montreal is in the province of Quebec.
Right.
Or Quebec,
And they're French Canadian.
as the Letterkenny folks like to say. We know. So
Quebec.
yeah, right? Who doesn't love Quebec? But we love some Letterkenny around here.
Those D-gents.
Oh, well, not that we're saying that about Montreal,
No,
not at
no.
all. And definitely not Toronto either. But Toronto is located in Ontario, if I am not mistaken.
We have D-Ray and Wiener doing some breathing exercises, preparing themselves for this last jam.
Mental game, folks. Yes, Twin State Derby. You are correct, Apple Corey. And toying with people's hearts with the official timeout. Keith is not wrong, but officials don't necessarily love those last jams either. That really, really matter because it makes it all the more pressure on them. You are correct, Apple Corey. I have called several games where that kind of thing has happened. What was it? France and Australia, Men's Roller Derby World Cup last year in Barcelona. Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay, here we go. My palms are very sweaty right now. Like, I'm so excited.
Yes, Cordy, it is stressful, not stressful whatsoever. But right now, Maelstrom, Toronto. Let's do the damn thing, folks. Jam
Here we go.
is up and running.
Baby Daddy on the outside line. Wiener takes him out.
Pink Slaminade.
D-Ray just pushing and pushing through that wall.
Pink Slaminade with that drawback all the way to turn 4 on My Baby Daddy. Slow grind happening.
Another hit out.
Woo! Both hit out. So D-Ray driven all the way back to Jammerline territory from turn 1. My Baby Daddy as well, but hadn't advanced quite as much. And Senior Wiener with the drawback, joining Pink Slaminade. Seriously. And Biff Malibu returning to the track from the penalty box. Pickering to the penalty box. D-Ray to the penalty box. It is a power jam for
and
My
he's
Baby
calling
Daddy.
it off, calling it off. Maelstrom.
Just listen. Listen to that. That's all I know.
I got goosebumps. I love games like this. And then all the hugs at the end. I love it so much.
So we will wait for the official confirmation on the final score. Okay, we will wait for that. But right now it does show 151 to 157, the unofficial score. A game that both teams can be proud of playing. Yes, Dianosaurus Rex, agreed. Well-played game by both teams. An absolutely intense game. Exciting to watch, call, and thank you for all of you on twitch.tv/nerdderby tuning in. We appreciate that you joining us for this adventure into the Derbyverse. And I think everybody needs to take a second, calm down. No caffeine anymore. No, lay off the energy drinks and the coffee. I highly recommend some
there's
herbal
the
tea.
whistle.
Chillax, folks. 151 to 157. Maelstrom wins. Congratulations, Mass Maelstrom. And still, a hard-fought game could have gone either way. Congratulations to Toronto for a well-played game overall. I am Beautiful Banshee.
I am Apex Predator.